Hello there, and welcome to our series for creating nightgown stitches with our PE Design 11. Okay, let's get going and take a look at how we can create some beautiful stitches here. Let's bring up our next page. And what we're going to do is we're going to come on up here and we're going to go to our text/fonts. We're going to click on this drop down button and we're going to decide where we want to go. I'm going to go ahead and come into the monogram section and I'm going to left click in this open spot. And what it's going to do is going to bring up this dotted line, and that allows me or lets me know that I can now type in my my monogram. So I'm going to do my monogram in that style, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hit enter. Now that does not mean we need to stay with this style. We can come up here to the left hand corner and click on this drop down box and literally see what it would look like now that we have letters in here, and get an idea of what we would want before we sit and scroll through a gazillion fonts and not really know what we want. I really like doing it this way. It just kind of helps me see them and I'm not struggling to find a lot of different fonts that I may not like. Okay, let's scroll down here and we're going to find something on the classy side because we are going to be doing a very beautiful monogram towel because it's that time of the year that everybody's going to want us to do monogramming. So as much as I really like this font, I'm not liking exactly how it's working, okay? So what I'm going to do is I am going to left click on this white box and I am going to move this C over. And I'm going to separate this D and the C if it's going to let me. Okay, there we go. So what you want when you hit that black button, you want to see the little arrow in pieces. Let me do this again on this L. And we're going to shift it. See the little A and the two arrows? I'm going to shift that L to the right. See that? Okay. Now we're going to come back and we're going to click on that white box for the D again. And we're going to change the size. And by doing that, we're going to get onto these green little diamonds and we're going to utilize those diamonds to get where we need to be. Okay. So now I want to bring my lettering back. Okay. So we need to work on that D a little bit more. But now we have these guys that are connected, which we don't want them connected right now, okay? We just want to bring our D back in position. Okay, and this is working as a group, all right? So now not every font, because we are in a layout font, so we may not have all of the editing features that we may want. So let's bring our C down here. And it may be a good idea to go ahead and turn your grid marks on, which is located in the bottom right hand corner next to your zooms down here. And I like to, now with stuff like this, I do like to work with my grids on, okay? I like to know where I'm at. So for sizing and everything. Now we're going to bring our little L over, okay? And because that C is connected, we really need to have that L connected, okay? So let's find our little box to bring this in and connect that L to that D, okay? Now, if you like this, which I particularly do not overly care for, you would be good to go. Okay. Now, let's bring that C in a little bit in there, and then we have our L. So at this point, we would come on up, and let's come up to arrange and hit move to center. Okay. Now, if we are doing a beautiful towel, let's bring this up a little bit more, and we have a very plushy towel, we are going to need to, oops, gotta get rid of those grids. Create a knockdown stitch, okay? But we need our letters in here first. All right, so for sizing. So let's come up to shapes and let's do this the easy way for now and find a pretty little shape that would work nicely with this design, and we may or may not have one. If we don't have one, we're going to have to create one. But for right now, let's just do this and kind of see how it goes. If it doesn't go well, we will adjust and make do. Okay, so every time you use PE Design 11, this is what's going to happen. This is what you're going to see. I'm going to turn my zigzag into a running stitch, and I'm going to take that filled stitch and I am going to scroll down and I am going to tell it a net filled stitch. Okay. Now there is basically our knockdown stitch, and as you can see, it does not fit our design. We can either come through and we can edit it, and by resizing it, okay, and make everything fit. Make sure, this is one thing I forgot to do, and I always forget to tell you guys, go to your hoops and make sure you're on the right side hoop, the size hoop that you're using, okay? And you need a good idea of what size design you want to put on here. So if you're happy with that, you would want to come over to color, and you're going to want to change these two. You're going to left click and hold control and group those together. And we're going to come over here and we're going to pick a very pretty color that blends in with our towels, okay? Now obviously we cannot sew this out with this on last. So what we're going to do is we're going to come back over to the left. We're going to have them highlighted. We're going to right click and hit sew first. So that is what's going to happen. It's going to sew the netting or the little lace look first, the outline of that, and then it's going to stitch down your monogram. Okay. Now, if you did not like that, that's very easy to fix. All you need to do, if you, let's come over here and let's just get rid of them. We're going to cut that out. You can come in here and you can take your running and rectangular shapes, anything along here, and just create easily what you want to put in there. Once again, you come over here and you right click and tell it to sew first. Okay, that's the easiest way to do this. Okay, if you're not happy with any of that, I like to create my own. Okay, and with that being said, we would take and we can do a running stitch and just outline around here. And I'm just holding the control to, as well as to kind of work on these curves. You know, that may be too close for you. You may need to want to extend it out a little bit. These are just options for you to know what you can do with these guys, okay? I would just leave that like that. Okay. I'm not particularly fond of that, but this is what we're going to do. And then we're going to come back and we're going to, you know, we can put in a piping stitch and and have that in here. We can go back and then do another fill the stitch design in here, and put our knockdown stitches in here, okay? If you want to convert it onto stitches, then we can come on over here and then we can look at other means, okay? So now it's really, once again, kind of up to you on how you want to do this. So let's look at, let's see if we can duplicate and copy that, and we have a second one here which looks really weird. Make it a different color so we can see what the heck we're doing. Let's put it up here, and hit, it's not even going to let us, we want to make sure we get it lined up. Okay. Now let's go to, we wanted to tell it stitches, right? So let's go to background, let's go to decorative fill, and let's hit the inside of that design, okay? Now we may even want to look at crosshatch stipple fill and put in the inside of that. Let's hit next. Now this is where you're going to have to do some homework. Offset spacing, sizes. Okay, this is going to be kind of a default setting right now. If you wanted to change angles, and let's hit OK and let's see what it looks like. Now remember, you know, when these stitch out, they need to stitch out on the top. So we're going to tell it to sew first, and in that way it goes underneath our letters. I'm not sure. Let's see, these are going to have to come up under here, and I'm just going to drag and drop them, and it looks like it doubled for us, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to get rid of that that second layer, okay, because we only need one, and we are going to cut it out. All right, so it looks like we need to bring it back. We grabbed the wrong one, and if this is not the easiest here to do, okay, now let's go back and put that back in there, convert to stitches. We're going to put it in here, and let's make sure we get one. Now offset spacing, size, you want to make these small, bring it on in, and it gave us 2 layers again and 1 layer of outside the monogram. So that's a way to do this. I would definitely make, I know what's happening. One of these is going this direction and the other one's going the opposite direction. And of course, then you want that color all the same. So let's see what that color is. It's embroidery cream yellow. And we're going to go back and we're going to hit embroidery cream yellow and make sure they are all the same color. Okay, so that is how you can make your own knockdown stitches, but you definitely may need to look at making these guys smaller. You can go into sewing attributes, and remember I said pattern 1 and then there's pattern 2. So if you change this one, you've got to change both of them, okay? And you're going to want to hit maintain aspect ratio, okay? And you may need to look at your spacings in here. Now this is definitely getting into a lot more digitizing, but it can be done, okay? So good luck with that one. It kind of shows you a little bit on how to create your own knockdown stitches for these designs. Now I'm going to get rid of this one. Actually, I'm just going to keep my letters. I'm going to left click and pull those together, right click them, and get rid of them. Another thing that you can do is, a lot of times I like to do this, is, I'm going to move this out of the way, is go ahead and create a, an area. So let's see here. Let's look at this. And sometimes it's easier to do that. Let's look at a big oval. And it kind of works with that. So here it is. We're going to have it here. It comes back up where we were. We're going to right click and we're going to tell it to sew first. We're going to come over here. We're going to grab our monogram and we're going to slide it right into position. We're going to take that one and we're going to tell it arrange and we're going to tell it move to the center. We're going to make sure this one is also moved to center. Okay, now obviously this is not going to work very well. So let's do this. So we don't want them off. We definitely want to make everybody proportionate. So if you need to come back and change your sizes, you can do that. And it does look like we're extending our hoop anyways. Okay. So there's no reason why you can't come back and edit this oval. Okay. So that is how we are creating our knockdown stitches with our PE Design 11. Now don't worry, I am not leaving those out that doesn't have PE Design 11 to do them on your luminaire that is coming. Okay, so let's plan that right here. And there you go. And that is how you would create your knockdown stitches. So, but you do want these tight, okay? And you can change, don't forget, you can come over and change the patterns. Look at that. That is gorgeous. Okay. And your spacing. If you've got a very, very plush towel, I would definitely make sure that is very tight. And then play with these guys, okay? That is gorgeous. So there is, some of the knockdown stitches that you can create with your PE Design 11. Practice, practice, practice. Don't forget, when you're done, you can come up there and send it to your machine as long as your machine is turned on. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you create your knockdown stitches with your PE Design 11. And we will talk to you guys soon. Ta-ta for now.